Hello, good evening everyone, and welcome to our Facebook Live session. My name is Jingwen, and I will be the host for tonight's live session. 365 Live is a platform where we educate the public on cancer and encourage a cancer prevention lifestyle. Whenever you see this logo, you will know that 365 Cancer Prevention Society is currently having a live broadcast. This talk is specially brought to you by 365 Cancer Prevention Society. 365 Cancer Prevention Society was founded in year 2003 as a social service agency with IPC status, and we are a full-fledged member of the NCSS. The society's mission is to serve the community through holistic cancer prevention measures. This is accomplished through health and nutrition education, promotion of healthy lifestyle, and our lymphatic detox exercises. We also provide practical and emotional support and care for our members and their family members in their battle against cancer through our residential and hospital visitation, counseling, nutrition consultation, and wellness services. So please like, share, and comment on all of our social media pages for the latest updates on our events and activities. Before we start our talk, please kindly note that all information shared at this event by the speaker and 365 CPS are for general information only and subjected to changes. Do consult your doctor for personalized and detailed medical advice. Due to the nature of this talk, there may be graphic images. Viewer discretion is advised. Thank you. Before we begin the talk, I would like to introduce tonight's speaker, Hui Xing. Hui Xing is now serving as a dietitian in the Nutrition and Dietetics Department at 365 Cancer Prevention Society. She is also a full member of Singapore Nutrition and Dietetics Association. She is committed and willing to serve with a heart of compassion and kindness to benefit the community. She holds the principle that you are what you eat, dietary intake dictates healthy lifestyle and overall well-being. So, without further ado, let us welcome Hui Xing. Hello, Hui Xing.
Hello, good evening, Singwen. Hi, good evening,
Hi, good
everyone.
evening. Yeah, thank you very much for joining us tonight to share your knowledge with everyone here. Now, let me hand over the time to you, Hui Xing.
Sure, thank you so much, Singwen, and good evening, everyone. Hope everyone has taken your dinner. So, without further ado, let me share the slides for the presentation today. So, once again, I'm Hui Xin. Welcome everyone to join for our last Facebook Live of the year. So today, we will be talking about debunking fat diet claims. So I'm pretty sure that everybody has heard or kind of, know about fat diet. So today, we will share the truth and also some of the myths about the fat diet, and hope everybody can get a little bit of tips about how to manage our body health better. So once again, today's talk is only for general information. So should you have any own medical condition, feel free to seek your advice from your own GPs or your doctors or any other medical professionals. So this is the outline of our topic of the presentation of the day. So before we go into the fat diet, we will share what our weight status is about. Because without understanding where we are, so we will not have the idea on where we would like to head to, and also what kind of diet that suits our body best. And definitely we will share with everybody about some of the tips to achieve healthy weight loss. So now it's the festive season, Christmas coming up, and also the new year of 2024 coming up. So I'm pretty sure we may get a lot of gatherings or even like dinners or lunch met up with our friends and also family members. So I think weight itself is one of the biggest concerns that everybody has during this festive season. So I'm pretty sure that some of us may have heard about body mass index, so what we call BMI. So body mass index is the figure that indicates where we are in terms of our weight status, whether we are normal or whether we are slightly overweight. So it is measured based on only two indicators, so our body weight in kilogram and also our height in meter. So for example, I'm a 50 kg lady with 1.7 meter height. So I will just use 50 divided by 1.7 and divided by 1.7, and this is what my body mass index. So once you get the figure, so you may plot into the categories as you can see here. So we have got underweight, normal, overweight, obese, and etc. So what we are looking at and aiming for is 18.5 to 22.9 according to Asia Pacific cut-off value. So the reason being is because for Asian population, we are at a higher tendency of developing cardiovascular diseases and also metabolic disease and a lower BMI compared to Caucasians. So for the BMI more than 22.9 and above, then that will be overweight and also obese, which is something that is quite alarming. So why do we say so for BMI more than 22.9 is alarming? So this is because if we are at a higher body mass index, then our risk of getting cardiovascular diseases, diabetes, or even osteoarthritis and 13 types of cancer will be increased. But again, you may have a questions, in your mind saying that body mass index only look at two indicators, our weight and also our height. And the weight itself doesn't differentiate our body fat and also muscle mass. So as you can see here, there are two people. On the left of the screen, you can see it's a muscular man. And on the right of the screen, you can see it's actually a more plump man. So they have got the same height, same weight, same body mass index at 33.9. But obviously, you can see from the physical appearance that the muscle mass and fat mass are very different. So again, body mass index is only a screening status of where we are. But to get a detailed information, we will definitely suggest to measure our muscle mass and also our fat mass. So it can be done through the first method, which is by using electrical equipment, which is called bioelectrical impedance analysis. So the abbreviation is called BIA. So usually some of the polyclinics or even like hospitals, they do measure by using this equipment because apart from BMI, they look at our body fat percentage and more so visceral fat and also the skeletal muscle percentage. So it tells us even more detail how much skeletal muscle we have and also how much fat that we have in the body. And the table below just the ideal body fat percentage for female and male at different age range. So you may take a photos or you may record down based on your individual age group. So another method in the absence of this bioelectrical impedance analysis, because sometimes at home we may want to monitor our own body weight status apart from the weight or BMI. So we can use another method called waist hip ratio. So this waist hip ratio, it measures the division of the waist circumference over the hip circumference. So it uses our waist divided by our hip, and it tells us the fat distribution of the body. So as you can see here, the fat could be accumulated at our abdomen side and similarly can be accumulated at our hip area. So let's imagine if we measure waist divided by hip, so if the waist hip ratio is higher at a higher level or higher figure, mean to say more fat at our waist area. But if we aim for a lower waist hip ratio, mean to say the waist will have a lesser fat accumulation. And the ideal waist ratio for men will be less than 0.9 and for women will be less than 0.8. And we can see here there are two shapes. Maybe some of you may have heard before, apple and also pear shape. So if the fat accumulates more at the waist area, so meaning to say it looks like an apple, and it tells us that actually more visceral fat surrounding our internal organs. So when the fat accumulates more at the internal organs, meaning to say we will be at a higher risk of getting a lot more diseases, for example, diabetes, stroke, and also heart diseases. And alternatively, if more fat located at the hip area, which is like a pear shape, meaning to say more fat at the skin area, subcutaneous fat, what we call, and the risk of getting diseases will be slightly lower. But again, we will aim for the lower the waist ratio, definitely the better. And once we have the body mass index, and also once we obtain our muscle mass and also fat mass by using the waist ratio or even the equipment, we would like to aim definitely for a normal BMI, higher muscle and lower fat. And this is our long-term goal to achieve our healthy body. So what should we do? Okay. So for one who is at a higher body weight, or for example, higher fat intake, higher fat percentage of the body, we would strongly suggest weight loss. So weight loss journey comes into place whereby we will hope that we can increase the energy expenditure by reduce the energy consumption to achieve the negative energy balance. So for a person who achieve a healthy weight loss, we will definitely encourage 0.5 to 1 kg of the weight loss in a week. And we hope that this weight contributed by fat rather than muscle or rather than water. So you can see that it's a very small amount of weight loss in a week time, not a very drastic like 1 kg, 2 kg, or even up to 5 kg in a week. So it's going to be a slow, gradual, steady weight loss. And this weight loss can be achieved through the elimination of 500 calories from our daily diet. So the reason being, so maybe you will ask, how come it's only 500 calories but not 400 or 600? So the reason being is because for an average person, to reduce 1 pound of the body weight, we will suggest 3,500 calorie reduction. So if you want to aim for a week of the weight loss of 1 pound, which is around 0.5 kg, 0.5 kg in a week, then divide by 7 days, then roughly it will be 500 calories per day. And we will suggest this weight loss can be sustainable for more than a year, and our aim will be achieve at least 10% of our initial body weight loss. So definitely we want to maintain our muscle but release our fat and preserve water as well. And here comes, because sometimes we want to have a very quick and effective weight loss, we will go for a lot of the diet, which is our key topic of the day, fat diet. So pretty sure we have heard about, like, for example, ketogenic diet, for example, intermittent fasting or detox diet. So are they useful and effective to achieve weight loss? And remember, what we are aiming for is at least more than a year of the sustained weight loss, but not 1 month or 2 months. So what it means by fat diet? Yes, it is proven that it will help promote rapid weight loss within a short period of time by eliminating certain food, and they don't encourage physical activity because only through diet to achieve weight loss. But again, it may result in certain concerns. For example, is it sustainable? Is it realistic? Do we get adequate nutrition? And is this fat diet suitable for everyone with every medical condition? So this is something that we would like to find out a bit more through today's sharing. So research has shown, or even publication has shown, that fat diet may not work and may not be sustainable. And let's look at it one by one. So here we compare between a normal balanced diet versus our ketogenic and also Atkins diet. So this is the graph, or what we call the pie chart, representing the food groups for our daily intake, mainly by carbohydrate, our protein, and also our fat. So for a general balanced diet, you can see that a big proportion of the energy comes from carbohydrate, and a little bit, about 20%, 20 to 30% comes from protein, and also fat also approximately 20 to 30%. So similarly for Atkins diet and ketogenic diet, you will see that the pie chart shifts towards more fat, lesser carbohydrate, and protein also slightly more. And you can see on the diagrams below how a normal diet looks like, and also how the Atkins diet and ketogenic diet looks like. So you can see Atkins diet and ketogenic diet has got very little carbohydrate. So this is also another example of how a ketogenic diet looks like. So a very beautiful table or even the graphs indicates the fat contributing a lot more of the energy intake for both ketogenic and also Atkins diet with very little carbohydrate. And when we burn fat, because the reason behind that people practice ketogenic and Atkins diet is that they would like to control energy from carbohydrate, but burn more fat from the body so that we can, in a way, burn away our body weight. So yes, frankly speaking, we have to let everybody know that these two diets will result in weight loss. Okay, you will see a very drastic, probably like up to 1 kg or even 2 kg per week or in 2 weeks, but it only lasts for short term. So a few concerns that it will bring out. Okay, despite it will result in a very short-term weight loss, yes, you can see. However, the question is that whether this weight loss contributed by really the fat loss or muscle loss or even like water loss, because to achieve the very good weight loss, it may take actually slightly longer time rather than a very short term. And again, our concern would be when we are excluding or reducing our carbohydrate, one concern that will pop up in our mind would be nutrition adequacy, because we are consciously cutting down whole grains, carbohydrates, fruits, and also fibers or even dairy products. Then will it lead to constipation, first of all? And in terms of cancer risk, because of very little fiber, will it trigger any colon cancer? Okay, so often we look at only weight loss, but from the weight loss itself, it may result in a lot more side effects. And because of burning fat, these ketone bodies may also result in acidity to the body, contributing to nausea, vomiting, dehydration. And because of very high fat intake, if one doesn't control the quality of the fat, for example, consuming more butter, consuming more palm oil, coconut oil, sour cream, cream, or even like gravy, then something that we may need to check on is our lipid profile, cholesterol level, and also heart diseases. So for times we only look at the short-term benefits, but long-term wise, there may be more problems coming up if we were to go for more than a year of this ketogenic and Atkins diet. And when we are actually controlling the calories from carbohydrate and consuming more fat, our body will tend to be at the lower metabolic rate because we are constantly cutting down our calories and we want to preserve our body function. Because imagine your daily function doesn't change, but you are controlling the energy from the food sources. So the body will have to be, in a way, like, sleeping or even quieter status so that we can reduce our body metabolism. But once we reintroduce our normal diet back to the body, then your body, because already at a lower metabolic rate, more food being introduced will result in, again, weight gain. So this is what we call yo-yo effect. So ketogenic diet and Atkins diet, if somebody practice for a long time and then after that stop and reintroduce the normal diet, you will see that the weight loss will be gone. Okay, so this is another concern that we are a bit worried about. And secondly, we would like to talk about intermittent fasting. So I think everybody knows about 50-hour fasting and also 8 hours eating. So for intermittent fasting, we control the duration of eating, but we don't really count calories. Okay, and there are other types of intermittent fasting as well. For example, alternate day or 5 days of normal intake and 2 days of fasting. So yes, research has proven that intermittent fasting shows good glucose level control, cholesterol control, and also blood pressure control. However, again, this intermittent fasting only controls the duration of eating. If we purposely remove certain food groups, then again, nutrition adequacy is a question. And do we control the food portion and also food quality? It's also something that we may have to ask ourselves because we may intentionally or unintentionally consume higher fat or higher sugar diet despite we control the duration of eating. So, for example, if we never control, we constantly consume fast food, processed food, ultra processed food, high sugar, high fat, then yes, your weight will not be controlled and managed. So the diet that is quite popular right now is called detox diet, which means that we use a lot of fruit and vegetable juicing to cleanse our body. So they claim that, this cleansing effect will help with loss and also to flatten our belly, especially abdominal fat. So this is an example of the menu for 3-day detox diet. You can see a lot of juicing, a lot of only fruits and vegetable, hardly have protein, hardly have carbohydrate from whole grain as well. So again, they state that yes, detox diet eliminate toxic, promote health, and also better manage our body weight. But before we even move to detox, to this juice fasting or vegetable and also fruit blending, let's ask ourselves how our body usually do detox. Okay, so just to let you know that our body has got very good organs, okay, very special organs that help detox every single minute, every single seconds. So liver, kidney, skin, they will remove the unwanted waste products. And our body doesn't need to rely on the external food sources to detox because this is the part and parcel of the function of the organs. So, to achieve the weight management through this detox diet, again, for a long run, it may not be sustainable, and because it controls a lot of the food groups intake, nutrition adequacy is also another problem. And long-term wise, we may develop binge eating because our body has been under restricted calorie for a very long time. So again, we have spoken about ketogenic diet, spoken about intermittent fasting, spoken about this detox diet. So all in all this, yes, within a short period of time, you will see a very fast weight loss. But again, the problem that it results is nutrition adequacy. If you never control the food groups and also the quality and quantity, then your body will be even at a harmful state. But rather, let's focus a little bit on what you and I enjoy every single day. Your breakfast, your lunch, your dinner, your snack, and something that is more permanent, sustainable, and yet your body can still function very well. So we hope that we can achieve a good muscle mass preservation but reduce our fat, because times the fat diet promotes more of the water and muscle loss rather than the fat loss. So healthy weight loss, definitely it doesn't run away from two main aspects, which is diet part and also the exercise, which we will talk about, touch and go a little bit today. So how can we enjoy our diet by just a little bit of, quality and also our quantity, QA and QC lah, so correct. So quality and quantity control, but we can still have a balanced diet. So which is through our healthy plate. So I think we can see here by separating our plate into three portions. A quarter comes from our carbohydrate, a quarter comes from protein, and also the last half of the plate comes from fruit and vegetable. And this is something that at least we can try to practice and is more sustainable and manageable in the main meals. So for this carbohydrate, we will strongly encourage whole grains. The reason being is because it is rich in fiber, which can reduce overeating because of our society is being controlled and enhanced. So brown rice, wholemeal bread, oats, even chapati, and despite having a good quality of fiber, again, portion control is very important. So we will encourage, this is just for a general sharing. So for every meal, we will encourage, we have a one fist size of the carbohydrate. But again, for individualized diet plan, please, we will suggest to speak to a dietitian so that you know how much calories or specifically how much carbohydrate that you need in person. So don't forget, corn, sweet potato, Chinese yam, potato, and pumpkin, they are also source of carbohydrate. So they are not vegetable. Sometimes we go eat cai fan or those kind of economy rice. We may accidentally order rice, stir-fry potato, and also stir-fry pumpkin. So we were thinking that, oh, maybe I can get a bit carbohydrate and maybe potato and pumpkin are vegetables. But to clarify, they are all carbohydrates. So pretty much we are only consuming carbohydrates without protein, without vegetables. All right. So let's do a swap from white rice to brown rice, cornflakes to oats. And also when we go hawker center, try to aim for some brown rice or wholemeal noodle if it's available. And when we go grocery shopping, do check out for the healthier choice symbol whenever you purchase your grocery items. So other than fiber itself, there's one important aspect that sometimes we may forget, that it also helps to enhance satiety and also make you feel full longer. This is called protein. So often we may consume the right amount of carbohydrate. We may consume vegetables for our main meals. But if the protein is not enough, you may feel hungry easier and also faster. So chicken, meat, fish, eggs, soya products like tofu, tau kwa, tempeh, or even tau hui, dairy products like yogurt, our low-fat milk, cheese, and also beans and lentils are good source of protein. So do remember that for every breakfast, lunch, dinner, we will encourage your protein, which is the palm size, and also the same thickness, okay, without the fingers. So this is a recommended amount, and sometimes, especially for Asian population, we may not consume protein for every breakfast. So you may consider adding, for example, a cup of low-fat milk, soya milk, or have a bowl of tau hui, or having a cheese in your sandwich to mark up your satiety and reduce overeating. And very, very common that we see, especially when we eat out or prepare at home, which is our diet may be lacking of protein, and times healthier choice of canned food, for example, canned tuna in water, or some fresh frozen meat can be stored at home, and it actually makes up a very simple protein intake for our diet. And do remember to remove the skin and remove the visible fat to reduce the excessive calorie intake as well. And I think fruit and vegetables, needless to say, everybody is aware that this is good because it is low in calories and also fiber, also enhance satiety. So we will encourage for vegetables. Yes, the more the better, but do monitor your any gastric discomfort if you consume too much vegetables. But pretty much we encourage at least two servings, which is two fish size of the vegetables every day. So you can consume at any meal, any snack, so long when you make up your vegetables intakes, it's approximately at least two servings. And for fruits also, it's also two servings in a day. And let's say if you're eating hawker food, so we can try to order a meal, a set of meal, or even like get more vegetables when we eat rice or even noodle. And the easy way to stock up our vegetables or fruit at home would be some frozen, fresh, unflavored vegetables and also fruits like blueberries, strawberries, broccoli, or mixed peas. And I would suggest we can also bring of the fresh salad when we are eating out. It can be a snack, it can be vegetable for main meal. For example, cucumber, salad leaves, lettuce, tomatoes, our capsicum, and also our carrot, which can be eaten raw. So then it can make up our vegetables when we are eating out, when they are lacking of vegetables in the hawker centers, or when you're hungry, munching on the vegetables helps, okay, to reduce our calorie intake. So we can see here, it's a very big portion of whole grains. If we never consume enough vegetables, calorie will be higher, but if we cut down our carbohydrate, increase more vegetable, our calorie will be reduced quite tremendously. Okay. And these are some of the examples of how we can make a healthy plate by eating out or by having the meals at home as well. And in the hawker centers, our health promotion board has also come up with healthier options logo. So whenever you visit any hawker centers, do keep an eye on that. So it will have the triangular health promotion board logo, with the lower in calorie label. So meaning to say that they are actually at 500 calories or lesser for your main meal. So you can consider that, okay, have that more frequent, more common. And if you notice that the vegetables a bit lacking, then you can bring along a salad to top up the vegetables. So these are some of the examples of how to make a healthy controlled portion. But portion being portion, we also have to control the quality of the food because sometimes, for example, if we aim for protein of a quarter plate, if we never choose a low-fat cooking method, it will also increase our calories intake. And here comes the fat intake. So fat contributes to the highest calorie compared to carbohydrate and protein, and too much fat will lead to too much energy as well, which contributes to weight gain. And there are two fat that we may have to be a bit more careful from our daily diet will be saturated fat and also trans fat. So this fat not only will increase our energy, but they will also lead to increased cholesterol and also higher risk of our hypertension, our high cholesterol, or even heart diseases. So saturated fat mainly can come from our lard, our butter, our ghee, our fat meat, and also palm oil, coconut oil, and also full cream dairy products. And trans fat, usually they come from our bakery items or even our deep fried fast food. So when we are controlling the portion based on my healthy plate, as much as we can, try to cut down these fat sources. Healthy cooking method plays a part. So I would suggest we try to choose the food from boiled cooking method, steaming, stir fry, soup, or even braise. But at home, you can also consider microwave, oven baking, and also air frying in the context of reducing the oil usage as well. So these equipments, they are safe for the body and it will not trigger any cancer because they use a very high electrical waves and also pressure to heat up the food. So and within a very short duration of time. So long that we control the oil intake, then they are safe to be consumed. And besides, we also encourage limit the gravy and sauces instead of flooding our rice with the gravy or the luchi or the curry sauce to make it drier. And choose the soup noodle rather than dried version and do not drink finish the soup. And choose the non-fried food, especially removing the skin and also the fatty part. For example, instead of deep fried chicken, we can go for grilled or baked chicken with the skin up lah. And instead of creamy soup, we can go for some clear soup. And full cream definitely is at a higher fat content, so try to opt for low fat. So another culprit of calorie contribution is come from sugar. So sugar comes from our dessert, baked goods, our sweets, our beverages, and excessive sugar intake will lead to definitely, as you can see, visceral obesity, which is the fat more at abdomen side. And we will encourage everybody to control our sugar intake to not more than 10 teaspoons in a day. So this is what we call the added sugar, the free sugar that is being added during the manufacturing or when we add ourselves into our food. But it doesn't involve the sugar comes naturally from the fruit and also from our dairy products. So need not to worry about the fruit sugar and also dairy sugar, so long that we control fruit to be 2 portions in a day, and dairy products, we just choose the low fat will do, and also unflavored will be the better options. But if one can control the added sugar intake to be below 5 teaspoons, it will be even better. Okay, so as we just a recap, as we mentioned earlier part, to achieve 0.5 to 1 kg of the weight loss, mostly from the fat, we should encourage elimination of 500 calories from daily diet. So this 100 calories sounds very heavy, right? Or sounds very difficult. But let's look at some examples. We can reduce 500 calories from daily diet through a few, simple tips or simple modification of our diet intake. For example, three pieces of Oreo biscuit already contributing about 135 calories. If you would enjoy ice kacang, it's already 250. So imagine one day in the morning you used to drink a cup of coffee, so that about 120 calories. And sometimes your snack will be biscuit, sometimes your snack will be granola bar or ice kacang. If we cut down all these snacks and also the dessert intake, very easy, we can control 500 calories from our diet. So that's why sugar actually plays very important part in terms of our diet management. So that we can choose less sugar and zero sugar always. And I think our health promotion board has indicated a healthier choice symbol on a lot of the products in the supermarket. So we try to go for low in sugar, no added sugar, or even sugar free. And these are some of the examples of the sugar or no added sugar products or low sugar products in the market. So you may have another questions when the items is being labeled sugar-free. When you eat or when you drink, still say sweet. Okay? So where does this sweetness come from and whether this sweetness is benefiting or harmful to the body? So let me introduce to you about this sugar substitute. So I think some of us may have seen this in supermarket. Okay, so this sugar substitute can be coming from two categories, one called low calorie sweetener and the other one we call artificial sweetener. So this low calorie sweetener means to say it gives a bit of the sweetness, but at a very low calorie intake. So if you turn to the back of all the um, non zero beverages or no sugar added products, you may notice all this maltitol, erythritol, sorbitol, or xylitol. So the one ended with tol, they are called low calorie sweeteners. Or on the other hand, you may encounter artificial sweetener, so meaning to say they do not contribute to any sugar, but they still taste sweet. So for example, stevia, sucralose, monk fruit sweetener, or aspartame. So these are some of the sugar substitute that has been used in the current market to reduce or to omit sugar and calories, but still give a bit sweetness. So if you ask me whether they are safe to be consumed, yes, it is still safe to be consumed because they do not go through the body and they do not enter the blood. So even for someone to control the sugar level, for example, diabetes, it is still safe to be consumed. But again, despite it doesn't go into the blood, it doesn't also give benefit to the body nor harm. It plays a neutral role in the way. However, if you can live without having sugar substitute, I would strongly recommend because for someone who too rely on this sugar substitute, you may develop the dependency to the taste of the sweetness. So in near future, if you would like to, change the taste, your sensation to another different mode, then it will be very tough because you're already used to the sweetness. Okay, despite it doesn't contribute to sugar level. So we will strongly suggest if can, fresh ingredients is very important and also they are helpful to give the natural sweetness. For example, onion, potato, carrot, corn, or even like goji berry or red dates, or some bones from the meat. So let's use a bit more of the fresh ingredients to give the natural sweetness rather than using the artificial sweetener or low calorie sweetener. And sometimes, snacks could be one of the biggest, or the challenging aspects to control in healthy weight management. Reason being, a very small amount of snacks, it may be very calorie dense. Okay, sometimes the snacks may be even containing more calories than a proper lunch or proper dinner. For example, chocolate, our kueh, our treats, bakery items, or even like cakes and desserts. So rather than having all this, let's swap to something that is lighter, healthier to the body, lesser calorie, but more nutrition. For example, non-fat or low-fat plain yogurt, top up with a bit of the fruits, or you can enjoy your unsweetened tau kueh, your low-fat milk or soya milk, or even like sometimes steamed sweet potato or steamed corn. So we can still mix and match different snacks, to achieve our weight loss, but at the same time fulfill our craving. So let's say if you are craving for something crunchy because you are, let's say, a chips person, so you want something crunchy, then at least we can consider nuts. But try to choose unflavored nuts and also control the portion because being nuts, they are rich in good fat and the fat content is actually quite high. So control the portion of the nuts will still give you adequate nutrition, but control our energy intake. So maximum about one handful, it's approximately 15 pieces a day. So all in all, when we talk about healthy weight management, healthy weight loss, we may go into an extreme to skip our meal. For example, I don't eat breakfast. I only eat my lunch and also take my maybe a small snack. Then I skip my dinner. Yes, you will see your weighing scale is going lesser, is going a lesser amount to the left side. However, the long-term wise is that it is not sustainable because you may encounter too hungry. It may lead you to overeating in your subsequent meal or next day. And long-term wise, you may encounter micronutrient deficiency because in the meal that you consume, you may not achieve the adequate nutrition. So in fact, instead of meal skipping, we will strongly encourage to enjoy the three main meals. You just control the portion, control the quality. And sometimes we may use what we call meal replacement. So I think nowadays there are many kind of meal replacement powder available in either direct selling or online platform or even like supermarket. So yes, having this cup of meal replacement will achieve weight loss because they are controlling the calories and also the nutrients content from the one serving of the powder. But yes, human being human, we are not a very robot. We still want to enjoy quality of life in a way, enjoy your good food, enjoy your gathering moments with your friends and families. So sustainability is one thing that is challenging. So meal replacement, yes, can be used to help weight loss, but I would not suggest to replace all your three meals. So it can be used as a start, for example, to replace one meal of the day while you still control the portion and the quality of the remaining two main meals. And I would strongly suggest having this meal replacement under the supervision or communication with dietitian so that at least we can manage and also to monitor the journey, the progress of the weight loss by using the meal replacement product and also the original normal solid food. And next, diet itself is very important. However, diet itself will not be able to burn our body fat. So in order to burn your body fat and turn it into muscle, we need some external pressure. So this external pressure comes from physical activity. So comparing muscle and fat at the same kg, at the same weight, muscle will have the higher metabolic rate compared to fat. So meaning to say that if we have more muscle, we will be able to burn our energy and also fat much better compared to having more fat in the body. So definitely having 10,000 steps in a day is the preliminary steps. But to give more pressure to the body, we will encourage aerobic exercise as a first. So aerobic exercise, there are two categories. So one is called moderate intensity, and later part we'll explain about vigorous intensity. So this moderate intensity means to say you can still talk but unable to sing. So if you notice that when you do exercise, you can still talk to the partners beside you, but when you sing a song, it's very tough. Then yes, you are right at the correct intensity for moderate. So we encourage 150 to 300 minutes in a week. So if you break that into maybe 5 days, then at least 30 minutes in a day lah. And we will encourage you need only to complete this 30 minutes in a day continuously, but you can break up. For example, you can do at least 10 minutes one time, then the other 10 minutes the other time, and so on and so forth. So examples will be brisk walking, a bit high intensity of housework, line dance, leisure cycling, leisure swimming. So all these are considered moderate intensity. But if you're a person who goes for a bit more jogging or a bit more like, for example, competitive swimming, then this is what we call vigorous intensity physical activities. So the duration that you require to build more muscle will be slightly lesser because the intensity is higher. So you can just need to achieve 75 minutes per week. And during this vigorous intensity exercise, you'll notice you can't even talk and can't even sing. So this is how we monitor and also gauge where we are in terms of the exercise intensity. So for example, fast biking or fast riding, jogging, some very sports like badminton, swimming, or even aerobic dance. So these are examples of the vigorous intensity physical activities. And again, all these will be able to increase our metabolic rate, build stronger heart so that we can actually burn the overall energy much better. But to specifically give resistance to the body to build more muscle at certain part, then we will also encourage resistance training or muscle strengthening training. So we encourage approximately 2 times a week will be good enough. And also it helps to promote fat loss and also especially our visceral fat. So you can either use dumbbell, resistant band, or even very simple by using a 500 milliliter of the water bottle and use both arms to lift and exercise. These are also good enough. And some of the Tai Chi, Qigong, they are also very good that can increase the muscle strength of the lower abdomen. So, as a summary of today's sharing about debunking fat diet claim, the point that we would like to bring out is that fat diet is something that is a very short-term weight loss. Yes, despite you can see a very good weight loss. However, sustainability is something that we would like to ask, and also nutrition adequacy. Because what we hope that we can still enjoy our diet, but by choosing the correct portion of the food, control the portion, make it balanced and healthier, we will be able to achieve a good calorie intake and also try to make exercise as part of their daily routine. Remember, we human, we take charge of our own health. Whatever we do, it will have the results to our body. So, successful weight management is not a one time of thing, but it's going to be a lifestyle thing. Because weight is something that it will be following us throughout the life, okay, until the end of the day. So let's make something more enjoyable, more sustainable, and we can still have the effect, but it doesn't give us so stress and also it bothers us every single day because it's already part and parcel of your life. So that's all from me for today's sharing. Thank you very much for your time and attention. So now let's welcome Jingwen back.
Okay, thank you, Hui Xin, for your comprehensive and informative content. I hope that everyone has also learned more about different types of fat diet. Now, let's take some questions from the floor. So, now I think in the comment section, we already got two questions from the floor. So maybe the first one is coming from you, Ming. If one is underweight or have gastric problems, it is not suitable for intermittent fasting, is it?
Yeah, I think thank you, Madam Lee, for the questions. So again, when we say about underweight and also intermittent fasting, so again, we may have to ask the first question is that why the underweight person wants to go for intermittent fasting? Because intermittent fasting generally, as you mentioned, that it only controls the duration of intake, but it doesn't control calorie, doesn't control the food quality or even the portion. So basically, these are the two different individual aspects that we are looking at. So for underweight, definitely, I think we'll tie back to what MG would ask also, how to increase the weight. So I think for underweight or the weight increase, this is another topic that we can talk about at later part. Again, there are many ways that we can achieve weight gain, or even like, for example, for underweight to achieve a good weight management. Again, it depends on how much that you need. So right now, I will not be able to give a very general information because it ties back to how much that a person needs in terms of calorie intake. So I would strongly suggest, do check with your doctor so that at least we can refer maybe the person to dietitian. Then dietitian can do a tailored, individualized diet plan for a person to increase the body weight. And we may have to see also what is the reason of the person is under the underweight category. So is it because the metabolic rate? Is it because not enough intake? Is it because of too vigorous exercise? And that for gastric problem, again, yes, depends on what condition that the gastric problem person has. So, whether the person is still having overweight issue. So again, intermittent fasting is something that we don't really recommend. Because if you were to practice intermittent fasting at the same time you control your calorie, control your portion, then why not? You know, you enjoy your diet, 3 main meals, quality, quantity, you can still achieve the good weight loss.
Okay, thank you, Hui Xin, for your comprehensive answer. So I hopefully both Angie and you Ming understand about underweight, gastric problem, and how does it relate with the intermittent fasting. So I think we got another two more questions from the floor. I think another one is what should one do if the weight gain is due to hormonal changes?
Okay, so I think this is a quite a common incident that we encounter, especially maybe for female. So yes, how some hormonal changes may trigger the weight gain. So again, we have to review what kind of diet that the person is having. So whether the diet itself already contributing to a bit higher calorie intake, so then we can adjust again based on the recommended amount of the calories that the person needs. Then we tie back to at least control the body weight. But in the case of already controlling the diet, already go for exercise, but the hormonal changes still contribute to very hard weight drop, right? Then what we can do is only like encourage the healthy eating, at least it's more maintained rather than increasing. So sometimes to a certain extent that we may achieve weight plateau, like you drop, and then to a certain stage, then it cannot drop anymore. Then what we are encouraging is see whether the BMI is still at a normal range, and I will still encourage to assess your fat and also muscle, because sometimes your body weight doesn't tell you how much fat and muscle that you have. Probably for a person like it's a bit higher BMI, but the muscle is actually at optimal level, fat also okay, then yes, then why not? We can just maintain the BMI will do.
Yes, I do agree with what Vicky said just now. So actually, the weight is not the only health indicator. So I think one should also can go for regular checkup, especially on the blood test to check whether is the blood cholesterol normal, is the blood sugar normal. So from this, we can also see is your is your health status in a is on a good track. So I think here we got another question from Mr. Chan. I'm trying to increase my weight, but I don't eat that much every day. So please, can Hui Xin kindly advise on that?
Yeah, hello, Mr. Tong Ming. Sure. So I think this one, again, so there are many ways that we can increase our body weight. So we may have to assess when we say don't eat that much every day. So again, you have to see whether your original body weight is already quite a stagnant body weight. So sometimes we look at the figure, but we may have to look at the trend itself also, especially for elderly and seniors or middle age. Because if your body weight has been controlled quite well, but a little bit higher end, then for me it's still not too bad if for example, the test results and also muscle and also fat mass is quite manageable. But let's say if you're an underweight category, but for example, your nutrition adequacy is okay, but test results fantastic, and also muscle mass okay, fat mass is manageable, then yes, at the underweight category, also not too bad. So again, I would suggest to speak to a dietitian to understand a bit more how much that you need.
So currently from the floor, we don't have any other question. So maybe while the other audience maybe still typing out the question, maybe I will just throw one. I would think it's a quite a popular question. So hearing that a starving body is actually quite effective in weight management and keeping a body healthy. So should we skip meals so that we can burn off store resources?
Yeah, so I think has pointed out a very good um I think questions like I think or rather all of us may have thought about that, like cutting down calories, right? Meaning don't eat, then stuff the cells law. Then once you stuff fat cells, then kill off, then die off, then maybe your body weight will drop. Yes, you will see your body weight drop again, as mentioned in the previous presentation slides. Meal skipping will definitely see a very good weight loss. However, again, um, weight management itself, right? We are not only looking at the figure, okay, not your figure on the scale itself, but we would like to look at a long term and a more important aspects, which is your overall well-being. Because, for example, if you already achieve your goal, which is weight loss, but it comes out with a lot more problems, like, for example, adequacy, and then you start to maybe see hair drop, start to feel hormonal imbalance, or start to feel like emotionally affected, then we may have to ask ourselves, is this the correct method that we are doing? And you will feel that we're very down, very emotionally affected. You'll feel very restless to perform your daily activities. Then starvation is not helping at all.
Thank you, Hui Xin, for the explanation. So yes, weight loss should not be too extreme as well until like we have other health problems. So we have another question from Angie here. So she is asking, is there any tips for people working irregular hours?
Yeah, I think this is also very common, and I think another challenging I think problem that I noticed lah is especially night shift workers. Like, daytime workers, we are not too bad, and also fixed hours like 9 to 5, 9 to 6, we can more or less manage our diet. But for those who are working night shift, for example, 10 o'clock until morning 6 o'clock, and then their body clock is totally like upside down already. Or especially people with shift hours, like sometimes morning, sometimes afternoon, sometimes night. These are some of the challenging things. So again, three main meal is a must to still provide your body with adequate nutrition. So regardless of which working hours that you are at, having so-called breakfast, lunch, dinner lah, but it depends on what hours that you are doing. So three main meal is a must. So by having again healthy plate is very important. So first of all, for any irregular working hours, make sure that there's a protein, there's a whole grains, and also fruit and vegetables based on the recommended serving size. You everything right based on the portion into your three main meal, and then you fit into your hours. For example, if you work morning shift, then you can still have your breakfast, lunch, and also dinner. Afternoon shift or night shift similarly. So night shift, for example, your dinner you can still be the same. So meaning your snack maybe it's like midnight already, and then you go home, rest, and then your breakfast and lunch is still the same. So control portion amount can still work for different working hours population lah.
Okay, so that's right. So the working hours shouldn't be a challenges for us to have a healthy eating habit as long as we know the correct method. Maybe before we wait for any final questions from the floor, in here I got another questions, which is like it's also quite a popular question. So about can I try? Maybe some of the audience will be wondering that can I try for fat diet for perhaps 2 days in a week while eating normal for the rest of the week just to achieve some sort of the weight loss?
Okay, so again, fat diet, if you were to practice 2 days and then 5 days, you go for normal diet. So 2 days you will see weight loss, and then 5 days later, after that, then you will just gain back already. So remember your effect that we mentioned. So and that particular 2 days fat diet, right, the weight loss, is it because of your muscle loss or your water loss? So this is something that it's not helping, okay, for long run, but rather we will suggest just go for normal diet, and then just control the portion, choose high fiber, and make sure protein. So I think protein is very important. Sometimes we often lack out during the breakfast. So have your protein for breakfast, lunch, dinner at the correct proportion, then it help you to feel full longer, then you wouldn't go for munching here and there lah. So again, we can equip everybody with knowledge, but with the knowledge to application, this is the determination and understanding part that we hope to incorporate in everybody. So knowing and doing are two different things. So you know already, so you try to take charge of your health, do something about it so that at least you can see long-term health benefits.
Right, thank you, Hui Xin, once again. So actually, I think here I got a very interesting question from Eileen. She asked that, Hui Xin, what is your usual breakfast? I think our audience are quite interested to know, quite curious
This
about
is a
that.
very interesting question. So I think different people have different breakfasts lah, huh? So breakfast can you again there must be a carbohydrate, preferably whole grains, and then must have a protein. So maybe I just put it a general comment lah, huh? So for breakfast, so for example, you can have a 2 slices of wholemeal bread. You can have your own topping. So again, can go for no sugar options, or for example, plant-based margarine, just a very thin layer, or you can go for cheese as a protein source. Eggs itself also is a good like fried egg or even scrambled or half boiled. From there you can opt for oats as well. So low fat milk is good, and you can to sustain your satiety, you can have a bit of nuts, maximum 15 pieces in a day. And definitely you can also choose other for example carbohydrate, like once a while you can go for chapati with dal. So don't forget, if you're lacking of some protein intake, you can opt for soya milk, unsweetened or low fat milk as well. So or if fat yogurt or plain yogurt is good enough. So it's about mixing and matching, and also do find your joy in eating, because I think for human, food is something that connects everybody together. So imagine if you skip your diet, imagine if you go for fat diet, your public relationship with people may be a little bit affected as well. So, continue your healthy eating, but at the same time, you can connect with your friends, families as per normal.
Okay, thank you, Hui Xing. So actually, now we got
Mm.
another two more questions. But before we go for the next two questions, just would like to share that Mr. Chan has actually shared with us his daily meal. He said he ate a bowl of brown rice for lunch and dinner, chicken or fish for protein, and vegetables, but small portions only. So I think thank you, Mr. Chan, for sharing us with your daily meal. So I think it's a very good choice because you have your brown rice as your whole meal option, and you got your protein. But vegetable, maybe you can try to make it to half a plate, like according to what Hui Xin explained about the my healthy plate just now. Okay. So next the question is, how about if we eat fruits in one meal, another meal vegetable? Does it still constitute a balanced meal?
Yeah, I think so long that the portion you keep it to two portions of vegetables in a day and two portions of fruits, generally it's okay to go because sometimes we understand environmental limitation. But I would strongly suggest for the fruit itself, try not to consume two portions together at the same timing, so that we try to limit the high spike of the sugar level in the body. So more or less, we want to make it control lah. So I would suggest fruit separate, but vegetables, yes, depending on your availability. Two portion minimum will do.
Okay, so another question here will be from Peggy. How many eggs we can eat in a day? Very popular question because she said eggs are very convenient to cook.
Yes, you are right, Peggy. Thank you so much for the question. So again, it depends on your individual medical condition. If you are free from any dyslipidemia, meaning like high cholesterol or high LDL or any history or present risk of heart diseases, so generally speaking, there isn't a fixed limitation. So you can enjoy your eggs from any kind of sources, so no limit to the numbers. But instead, if you are at the risk of heart diseases or stroke or any like you're already diagnosed with high cholesterol level, dyslipidemia, then we will strongly suggest not more than one egg yolk per day. But the egg white freely lah, no limitation. But do remember the egg doesn't only come from egg. It may come from bread. It may come from other food sources. So we may have to be a bit careful when we choose or when we consume the egg lah, because sometimes we already consume the egg from the bread. Then probably egg yolk we may have to control a little bit, maybe alternate day or so.
Okay, so just information for the rest of the audience. So we will just take the last question here from the Sui. So if you have any more question, you feel free to leave it in our comment section, and then we will reply in your comment. So from Sui, her last question is brown rice. She heard that the brown rice is not suitable for all ages, even though it is recommended that it's healthy. Is that true?
Yes, you are right, Sui. Thank you very much for the good question. You are right that brown rice or even like whole grain itself or fiber, this high fiber food is may not be suitable depending on medical condition. So it may not be because of age related, but it's more on medical condition. Because sometimes when we age, our digestive ability or system may be a bit weakened. So in terms of digesting the fiber, it may be a little tougher. Or for somebody that's already having indigestion problem, then fiber food we may have to control a little bit. So again, despite healthy food we always recommend, doesn't mean that it's suitable for everybody. For example, vegetables is good, but too much vegetables may lead to constipation because of too high insoluble fiber. So that's why we always encourage that do check with your doctors or dietitians if you have certain medical conditions so that we can tailor your diet accordingly. So you're right that Sui that not all healthy food is suitable for all medical conditions.
All right, thank you everyone for your questions, and thank you Hui Xin for your
Yeah,
sharing and
everyone.
answering all the questions from everyone here tonight. It is now time for Hui Xin to take their leave. Once again, thank you very
Thank you.
much for sharing
Mhm.
your professional insights.
Yeah.
Okay. So at this point, we will appreciate if you could complete the feedback form for tonight's session. Kindly scan the QR code on the screen with your mobile device or click on the URL link in the comment section to give us your feedback. Okay. So our next Facebook Live will be on Golden Years, Golden Health. It will be on 13 January 2024, 8:30 p.m. here on our Facebook platform, and the speaker is me. Just in case you missed my introduction earlier, I'm Jingwen and I'm a dietitian from 365 CPS as well. Once again, do like and share our social media pages for the latest updates on our events, such as this Facebook Live event. Once again, thank you very much for joining us tonight. I hope to see you all in the next session. Take care, stay safe, and good night.